Intersections across the city might seem like any other. Research found what makes them different.
And we found that there were differences in trauma mechanisms at different levels of neighborhood severity.
The doctors behind this study, Dr. Meyers and Dr. Acker with Children's Hospital Colorado, say they identified what makes intersections more dangerous. They started by looking at what's called the Neighborhood Deprivation Index, a tool that measures how disadvantaged neighborhoods are on factors like income, education, or employment.
And so what we were able to find by focusing first on Denver County, just as a proof of concept of the methodology, that there were specific intersections with high levels of deprivation at the neighborhood level, and then high rates of injury, high rates of kids getting hit by cars.
There are two areas that stood out: Federal Boulevard and Exposition near Westwood, and Federal Boulevard and Jewel near Harvey Park. Using both data from the DMV and their own hospital system, data showed that the more disadvantaged neighborhoods are, the more likely they are to have higher rates of crashes and more severe injuries.
And we found that these injuries occurred after school in those areas. We found that the injuries occurred on roads that had more lanes of traffic and higher speed limits, and also had more bus stops compared to areas that were not in hotspots of injury.
Off of Exposition, there's also a bus line, another factor. The data ultimately is just a glimpse into what's happening in neighborhoods across Denver. They hope it can be used to keep people safe at intersections like these ones.
And so you can use that information to say, okay, maybe in these neighborhoods where the incidence of auto-pedestrian injuries is high, like we can advocate for crossing guards after school when school's letting out. We can advocate for slower speed limits, right, in these specific intersections.
This study was in part funded thanks to a grant that lasted for about 2 years. In Denver, Angela McCall, 9 News.
Angelina, this is one of those studies and data that is actually going to save lives. You're going to see it in real time.
I think that's certainly the hope from the doctors, right? And when we're talking about kids and accidents, I don't think there's anything that we can do to protect them more, right?
All right, Angeline, thank you.